The liberation and healing from systemic racism strategy is creating a movement for transformative change that requires building a net that works so that scholars and families are less likely to fall through. What is our collective challenge? The education institutions have failed in closing the achievement gap between Black and brown children and their peers. Some clear indicators are school districts are resisting to implement culturally responsive curriculum where scholars can see themselves. Lack of addressing racial disproportionality in disciplinary actions, and lack of providing a sense of belonging which will make them feel accepted, respected, and supported in a learning environment. The system was designed for people to work in silos in order to create division and produce specific outcomes. Systemic and internalized racism has conditioned us to operate in an individualistic way of being, and it's entrenched in our policy and procedures. In other words, it has caused us not to come together to hold the educational system and ourselves accountable to ensure the success of our scholars. The Liberated Village collective approach is dedicated to breaking the chains of isolated efforts and internalized oppression by providing a village for parents, guardians, scholars, and the community to educate ourselves and not solely rely on school systems to educate our scholars. Who are we? The Liberated Village is a movement that focuses on building solutions by going beyond the educational institution and to mobilize communities to create an educational system for us, by us, that inspires young people, centers their culture, cultivates their brilliance, helps them discover their purpose, and prepares them to be global productive citizens. In fact, the renowned professor and historian, Dr. Asa Hillett III, echoed the sentiment that current approaches of closing the achievement gap between Black-brown students and their peers have been ineffective, and to instead promote closing of the excellence gap between Black and brown students and their potentials. Our collective why for doing what we do is that we see generations of scholars experiencing liberation and healing by discovering and living in their true cultural identity, brilliance, and purpose. The foundation of operationalizing the Liberated Village collective understanding that guides our work, in other words, are how we approach accomplishing success for our scholars is by focus on the whole child, develop skills that promote healing, nurture collective power, and leading with racial justice. The Liberated Village has identified 5 theories of action to guide the what we do. They are as follows: capacity building, community and family level engagement, cultural identity development, system change, and youth leadership development. We feel like this is only the beginning now that the foundation has been built. As we move into the second phase of this strategy, we are seeking applicants who want to join the collective movement in developing a community-centered experiential learning education that will educate, elevate, and liberate Black and brown scholars in King County. What do we want? Imagine a community school without walls. The Liberated Village is seeking to bring together key leaders, which include grassroots organizations, nonprofit and small for-profit organizations, parent-led groups, faith-based organizations, and community-based organizations to collectively create a community-centered educational system that guides Black and brown scholars to both envision and reach their full potential. We are seeking partners who distinctively value sharing knowledge, skills, power, and resources, and will work together towards community-centered solutions for transformative systemic change. The Liberated Village will provide a solution by building a foundation for economic and community wealth. These are the ways your organization can provide education and experiential learning to scholars, parents, CBOs, staffs, and partners in the village. Social justice, learning about our legal system, undoing systematic and internalized racism, legal advocacy, and civic engagement. Economic knowledge, learning about economics, developing financial and real estate literacy, teaching skilled trades, technology, and entrepreneurship. Urban agriculture, learning about farming, organic gardening, and sustainable food. Education enrichment, preparing for college readiness, academic advancement, public speaking, and providing youth art and expression opportunities. Organization executive coaching, developing strategies and plans in business, finance, and evaluation. Health and wellness, learning about how to care for our health and wellness, which include food and nutrition, fitness, mental well-being, and social and emotional learning. Political science, learning social science that is concerned with theory, description, analysis, and prediction of political behavior, political systems, and politics. What other topics are you interested in teaching to the Liberated Village? What does it look like? Each organization will enroll their scholars into the Liberated Village database portal on our website called the Liberated Village Scholars Academy. In addition, the Liberated Village will have learning and action cohorts, and each lead organization will have a representative to participate. They will focus on the theory of change strategies by actively identifying and confronting structures of systemic oppression that perpetuate generational trauma, and will work together to identify solutions to eliminate the gaps and disparities experienced by Black and Brown scholars, families, and the community. And finally, the Liberated Village will have a Parent Leadership Committee and Youth Leadership Committee. Each organization will provide a parent and scholar to represent the two committees. The Parent Leadership Committee and the Learning and Action Cohort will co-create and host Liberated Village Scholars Academy and Parent University events with the youth's input and participation. The Scholar Academy and Parent University will be an opportunity to invite all scholars and parents to participate in educational opportunities together, such as having Black and Brown professionals facilitate sessions from all over the world to present on various subjects and more. There are two options for organizations, agencies, to apply. Option 1, lead applicants, CBOs, who have existing relationships with identified partners will work together to meet the proposed scope of work. Also, the organizations will commit to working collectively with subject matter experts to encourage the population served to enroll in courses offered. The village will co-create collective performance measures and standardized data collection tools to measure outcomes with BSK leaders and more. Option 2, subject matter expert applicants, SME, will provide education and serve either scholars, parents, CBO staff, and partners. The SME will work with lead applicants to provide marketing material for the classes offered to encourage scholars to attend different educational opportunities and learning and action cohort meetings to build relationships with the Liberated Village. The eligibilities are prioritizing Black and Brown grassroots organizations, collective efforts. This includes but is not limited to planning, designing, implementing, and evaluating our efforts. Anti-racist ideology, having a race analysis to undo institutionalized racial oppression, IRO. Subject matter experts, SME, both lived experience and education that reflects the community served, and experience in developing positive cultural identity, strong sense of agency, and confidence by using culturally informed education that speaks to our scholars and parents, hearts, minds, and souls. How to apply. If your organization is interested in a collective movement that demonstrates a love for co-creating, a commitment to building authentic relationships, a passion for finding creative solutions, a desire to create healthy and strong communities, and excitement for experiential learning, and a belief in Black and Brown excellence, then we encourage you to apply. Click on this link for more information and how to apply.